Welcome back to another episode of me working on Dreamland. So I want to send a dupe to the other asteroid so that they can start the setup process over there of everything that's needed, living accommodations, oxygen, food, and ultimately produce some oil. So I don't have oil on this asteroid, but I do have some in that asteroid, but I just need to get over there. I'm going to send Miner over. Now, Miner is going to flip the freak out if I send them over as they are. So what I need to do is actually have them run through this machine so they remove some of their skills so they're not so full of themselves. And they get over this spot that doesn't have some of the amenities that are over here. And that's what this machine will do. I won't put them through it now. I'll wait until I'm ready to send them over, just so that they maintain their higher skill set at the moment. I also have a little bit of lead, might as well build stuff out of lead while I've got it. But yeah, that's going to open up essentially access to oil. The other thing is I still want to get up here. The first task up here is food storage. Whoops. I don't want a random pole built right there. Thank you very much. So yeah, let's make this out of granite. We'll go up. And we'll find a spot over here for food. Now, I see some ice, so I would expect it's possible that liquid will be dropping down here. Not really going to be concerned from what I see. I do see a buildup of carbon dioxide. I'm going to see chlorine as time goes on, so I'm going to have that pump. Actually, maybe I'll even do that research now, so that by the time I need that, it is there. So I want a gas chamber, so that I can store some of that gas, because I want to actually have it for the future. Let's see if I can remember where there it is there. So that is the gas reservoir. I'll have that pump, since I know that's going to be needed. And we can now go ahead and connect that with power. I've got to pause there. So I'll let that research finish. I'll let path be. Actually, we have a little bit of crude oil. That actually can be a tiny bit useful. I'm not sure how much plastic that will produce. Not enough for our ultimate needs. Still don't have all the mushrooms that I want. I kind of left a few of them. I guess there's only 2 more that are needed, but I do see mushroom right here, so why not just continue this down a little bit, and I will dig that out. And I think I'm at the point where I'm comfortable with deleting 5 more of these mealwoods and relying just on this, though I won't delete any more until I get the food storage. So I'll let all this be built, and we'll be back with the food storage and sending a dupe over to the other asteroid. So I have this area here that I can access, so I'm going to submit bioscan. Dupe will go over there, open that door. There's builder. And another one of these neural facilitator. Let's do a save here. Save this as a dupe skill. And the idea is if I didn't like the skill that was assigned to the particular dupe, I may change that. I'm going to give this to Miner. Miner is the one that's likely to do new missions in asteroids and the first to go anywhere, so having them with the highest skill is going to be the highest priority. Positive outlook on life, minus 20% per cycle to stress. Yeah, they're normally going to get quite stressed out based on the fact that they're in terrible working conditions for a large part of their time. I still that's not comfortable with sending that. Builder can have a skill. Let's decide on that for a second. Let's do construction. But Miner currently has 3 skills. That's just too much we're going to a new asteroid. Let's go over, by the way. If we click on this, we discovered a teleportation device to send a dupe over to this asteroid over here. If we go in there, well, we're not going to be able to see much, but I do know that there's nothing, certainly no amenities really for them to enjoy. So they're not going to be happy there, but let's put Miner through this. So they're going to remove their skill set. I will probably give them just basic mining after that is done. And then I will send them over to the new asteroid. So yeah, this was pretty helpful actually. How are we doing over here? Still making progress here. This is where food storage is going to be. Just going to put insulation between the rest of the base in this cold spot because I don't want the base necessarily to get extremely cold, but not just that, I also want over here to stay cold because this is where the food storage is going to be, and I want that to freeze the food. I'm also going to want to have carbon dioxide put there, but I'll worry about that later. I do have to worry about the fact whether carbon dioxide will actually freeze. What's that, minus 40 or so? If we check the minus 48. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Minus 44, we're okay. Minus 50 above. This is a little risky where I'm putting it. But let's go ahead and put it there. We're just waiting for Miner. I don't know if they're done. That particular, they are. So I'm going to give them the hard digging skill. And how about we do a save just in case something goes wrong. I'll call this one deploy dupe. Confirm that. Resume. And let's now tell Miner to go over. They might be asleep. Wake up. This is actually pretty good that they're going in the morning. You don't want to send them when they arrive and have to sleep because they're just going to sleep on the floor. I prefer them to be able to... We missed that. Alright, so as soon as they're in there, I'll hit teleport. They even have a fancy suit on. So Miner is one of the better dupes to be here. They can dig well, and I need to do a lot of digging. Since they're here, I'll do another save. Do I have one called new dupe? I'm actually going to unfreeze this friend here. But what I'm going to do, so yeah, discovered something. I've got a new dupe that's waking up. Before we go any further, he's called Stinky. Let's have a look at their skills. They're interested in being a doctor. Bottomless stomach, absolutely no. Absolutely not. That means they eat more than the other dupes. I think that's like my worst and most hated trait. That's why I did a save here. So I'll load. I'll go back. I'll try again. I won't record this bit, but I'll see you once I found a dupe I'm happy with. So this is the dupe that I've got. They like... Oh, let's go bio. They like decorating. Sure. And small bladder. I can live with it. I don't want to restart forever, and I do need an artist at some point, even though I may not use their particular skill set at the moment. So what I want to do now is similar to the first base that I was on. I need to establish a column that goes up and down, and that's going to be my transportation. Actually, hold on, even before that, I need a toilet for my dupes to use. So I need some dirt and sedimentary rock to make it out of. That is going to allow me to build an outhouse. And I will build 2 cots for the 2 dupes that are here. That's the first priority. After that, I then need to worry about the column that I was talking about that goes up and down. And I need to start upping the quality of life over here because it's quite terrible. There's no amenities. I do have an outhouse, but it's not in a latrine. And there's no barracks. So things look pretty dismal. But we'll change that. We've got 2 dupes here. And I will build. I'll need some metal. I already have some metal down there. That's good. So I want a place for them to eat. A place for them to actually use the washroom instead of just the outhouse that stands by itself. I will also want... Oh yeah, that's pretty much like the 3 things. So I'm going to make this a 3 wide column, unlike the 2 that I have before. Still going to put the appropriate number of space away from this so that if I get light bugs in here, I won't have an issue. Now, while I'm doing this, this is the multitasking bit of this game, is I now need to go over to the other asteroid and manage that to make sure that they're not idle, that they're not dying, everything is good. So I'm going to actually do a fire pole over here because they're going to use this daily. And I will have a spot that exists for them to store their food. I'm actually going to put mesh tile there, and the reason for that is just in case I get a little bit of liquid, it doesn't fill on top of the ration box. But I'll put 1 ration box there. And that's going to be my food storage. And I have to go back over here and make sure these guys aren't bored, sitting idle. Let's see. Let's start... give them a mess table. I just need the 2 for the 2 of them. We'll make it a great haul in time, but for now, let's just give them a quick morale boost. We're also going to have to grow their own food. Not in a super hurry about that, because there is a cache of calories, but we do have to think about that. I'll want a fire pole, but there are other priorities before we get to that. Actually, I can increase the amount of food by digging these out. So I'll just keep on over here, making my way to the top and setting up some basic living quarters in this new asteroid, and I'll come back and I'll show you what I have. So the ration box exists. I want to specifically say what's going to go in here. You don't need to freeze everything. Muckroot doesn't go bad, so there's no point in putting it in there. Same thing as nutrition bar. But if I do get any omelets, probably not going to get that many. These ones I'm worried about putting in there just because they're going to go all around the base and in the slow process to be able to do that. So let's not have that happen. The other thing is I haven't put carbon dioxide in there. So what's there now? Hydrogen? And a little bit of oxygen. Well, no, let's get some carbon dioxide in there. I believe that is this line here, which has a mix of oxygen and carbon dioxide, but the pump is submerged in carbon dioxide. So it is time to start to work on... Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, I do have... I was wondering if I had if I'd completed the research for this. I did. So there is a material research station. I'm going to build some tiles above it, mostly so that I can put in automation. So I want to detect whether a dupe is there or not, and if so, put on a light. That's going to allow scientists to have light when they're working. But the other thing is I'm going to have to provide red bolts. So in order to do that, I need initially a radiation lamp. So I'm going to put one here, and that needs a wall. That's why I'm doing this bit. Actually, why not put that up like that so my dupes can walk under it, because they need to refill radiation lamp every now and then. I also need a red bolt generator. So that is going to take the output of the lamps. So the lamps is essentially going to shine on it. And that's going to convert that radiation to red bolts. And that's going to fire down into this machine. So that's how this is all going to go. Now, I actually want to have some more logic. I want an AND gate, and I don't have that yet, so let's do that research. All the way at the bottom, automation. So we're going to have to get that. So the idea is this machine, actually I might not even need an AND gate to be honest. This is going to send a true signal. Let's go over it. It says, sends a green signal when rad bolt storage is full. Well, that's the opposite of what we want. I'll need a NOT gate, so I'll need to wait for that research to be complete for that. But let's power this up, but not actually connect it to the power supply just yet. And at this location over here, I'll be using uranium ore, so we might as well store it at that location. Idle, let's not let any dupe stay idle no matter what asteroid, particularly this one to be honest. Let's give them access to this. They can even harvest that plant. If you're looking for something to do, so now I've got a washroom. Let's upgrade this to a great hall. Let's not waste any time with that. Now this mud stuff is going to go away if I'm not careful. But I'm going to have 2 mess tables. Actually, let's put in 4 for the future. Water cooler as well. Now that these desks are floating in the air, there's no point in having them. Let's get rid of them. And that's just going to up the morale bonus. Do a little bit of cleanup. Speaking of cleanup, we do have to clean the air, but we'll do that in time. Alright, that'll keep them busy for a little bit. Over here, not a lot of progress is being made, that's right. How about I come back once this stuff is created? I've got the opportunity to take another dupe. Especially since I have miner gone from here, there's only 5 dupes in this asteroid. I'm comfortable doing that. I'll call this one Animal. Because they have ranching, they also dig and do suit wearing. So that's going to be fine. I feel like I'm going to be burned by a dupe not having a bed when the 2 dupes from the other asteroid return someday in the future. So I'm just going to work on 2 more places to eat and sleep. Oh, let's give out some skills. To artists, that's over there. Let's do some hard digging. That's going to help them do a lot of the digging that's going to be going on. Astronomy to scientist. Engineer can now do electrical engineering. Cook, let's give them grilling. 2. And animal, we're not going to be needing critter ranching anytime soon, so generally, if I don't know what to do, they do like to dig. That may be useful, actually. I still see the skill button. Did someone... Oh, I forgot the 2 over here. Whoops. Oh yeah, but I don't want to give them their skills just yet. Let's up the quality of their life just a little bit more before I do that. So if I check in here, I can see my food is frozen. It's in a sterile environment, carbon dioxide, and it has a 0 change per cycle, which means it's never going to go bad. I now have a NOT gate, so I'll put that in here. So this is going to be a NOT after this point, basically indicating that if we're in need of, if the machine's not full, then power can be provided to these guys. Now, do I have a power shut off? I do. So I'll put that at that location. That's going to tell the power shut off to either be on or off. This is going to be metal ore of uranium ore that's stored there. And that's pretty much everything we need to do material research. So not too bad. I'm just waiting for some of that automation before I turn it on. The issue with the material study terminal is that it takes rad bolts. And the rad bolt generator takes a lot of power. I also need the radiation lamps, but really it's the rad bolt generator that's going to consume a lot of power. So that's why I have this automation there to turn it off when it's not needed. That's great and all, but I'm definitely going to need more power. So I'll put in an additional manual generator. Might even put in one on top of that just over here. Oops, did not mean to do that. Go back to bed. False alarm. Sorry. In addition to that, I'm going to put in a coal generator. We'll do that right here. That already has the automation already set to go. The other thing that I'm going to do is offset the schedule such that not everyone is sleeping at the same time. So let me just pause this, try to figure this out. Let's put animal here. Let's put, now I'm only concerning myself with the ones that are on this particular asteroid, so engineer will need to move. So let's move over artist, and the idea is if the battery gets really low at any particular time, not everyone's sleeping, they can go right to the manual generator. Because if I didn't do that, this machine will undo all its progress if it's out of power for too long. So you never want power to go completely empty. Another thing that'll help is if we make some more jumbo batteries. And this should more than allow us to be able to start, once that's all created, to start to operate this machine. Before I go, how about we check on the progress over here? I've got a great hall, latrine, a barracks, working now on getting a spot for a nature reserve that is going to up morale by 6 when they go through it. Whoops, I didn't mean to. There's supposed to be a ladder there. So I need 4 wild plants in order to do that, as well as a park sign. Just throw the park sign there. So what do I got? I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've got enough if I were to go in this area. And I don't want the pug slugs to get out, because they'll eat my cobalt, which is not cool. So put a storage for that there. Any cobalt that is in with these guys here. No, I need a ladder. But yeah, this piece here, cobalt, I can't say that, is at risk at the moment of being consumed by those critters. So let's store that here. And what I'm going to do at this location is say sweep only and put in cobalt. And I can even do that at high priority, just to make sure that that is not consumed and I can use it for building things. All right, let's look to see if that did it. Yeah, there it is, nature reserve. And the idea here is I'm going to have some showers that'll be used every day. This is a gross place. I'm sure that the dupes are going to appreciate to be able to shower here. Eventually we'll have an actual washroom. Water source over here. Let's get into that. And I can build a pump and have water sent into it. Oh, I don't even need to build a pump. Never mind. I already have a pump. I just need to get to it. So convenient, this world. It has a water source with a pump and all that ready to go. I will need some power, so I have to think about that. Let's throw that up here. Again, gonna build a manual generator because I don't later. Because I don't want to dupe sitting on that all day, doing nothing. And they're idle over here. Let's see, I don't think it's time yet for another dupe. So, we're ready to go with connection of this. I have not connected it to power, so let's do that now. I'm going to have to wait for these radiation lamps to be filled. Okay, that has happened. I'm going to have a quick look here at the radiation level that is going to be exposed. It is mostly safe at this point. Here, mostly safe. Great. What I'll aim to do is create a little bit of protection. It might even be helpful to kind of have this stairway going down like this to access it, just so that as the dupes go up and down there, they're not exposed to that radiation level, or as much as currently there. But yeah, we are consuming quite a bit of power at the moment for this early in the game anyways. But perhaps I'll even build a ladder right here, just to make sure my dupes are safe as they're going up and down and doing their jobs. I'm gonna say that is good enough. We went for mostly, well, still mostly safe, but a lower rad bolt radiation exposed. And they're not really standing, well, that guy's standing there because he's got nothing to do, but they won't actually stand there general. Let's add a little bit of insulation. And then I think we're ready to poke our heads out into space, but before we do that, we need gas masks, because there's no oxygen out there, obviously. So let's research that. And then I'll build that once that is ready to go. The other thing, it's I haven't upgraded tiling on a lot of places. So let's do that now. I'm going to do high priority over the barracks, because I don't want interruptions all through the day of people sleeping and losing their beds as this is built. So hopefully this will be built pretty quick and avoid that as much as possible. So I think I'm going to leave that there. I have a material research station. First rad bolt is on its way. What am I researching? Gas mask now, but eventually that's going to lead to being able to have glass forge and solar panels. I did wake up a dupe engineer. Oh well, that's fine. That'll be put in there. The other major thing this particular episode, I'm now on my second asteroid. Perhaps want to do some cleanup on aisle 1. We'll come back to the next episode. Hopefully, I will see you there. Till then.